Hey, hey guys, I'm back. It's me, Taylor. I'm back, and you're listening to No Limits. It's me and Brianna today because Ethan doesn't like us and he's taking a break, and Luna's in the background, and we just play God of War Ragnarok. We're gonna roll the intro. All right, bye. Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor, and let me talk a little slower now because we're out of the intro, and I wanted to do something interesting. But welcome back. You're listening to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast, and today it's me, your host Taylor, joined by my co-host, lovely, fabulous Brianna.
Hello.
Hello, hello, and Luna's in the background doing shenanigans. Her cat.
Yeah, she's cleaning.
Mhm.
Very busy time for her.
And this is episode 20 of No Limits. Remember, you can find the video version of this pod over on youtube.com/save the game and media every Tuesday. While you're over there, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you'd rather listen to audio, we're on all your favorite podcast services. I would love it if you could leave us a review. It helps us grow, and we'd love all your feedback. Also, if you want to support us and get access to all Save the Game Media content, head over to patreon.com/save the game media, just like our current patrons did. Bucky Blue, Hopple, Alpaca Tom, SAZ, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Brianna's toaster, Amon, Anna Hudak, Nikolai at Night, Cypher Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Always Be, and our newest patron, Megan
Quinones.
Quinones, I'm going to guess. I doubt it's Quinones, but Megan, if you're listening, please correct me in the Discord. Speaking of the Discord, guys, please join the Save the Game Media Discord where we talk daily about shenanigans, video games, random things. It's awesome. And the link will be in the show notes for that or
Join
the
and
YouTube
stay.
description.
We had
Huh?
somebody like join and then leave immediately. Join and stay.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of Discords. So
Yeah, no, for sure. But
yeah,
join and stay.
if you want refuge from Twitter, this is a great escape.
Mhm.
So again, please go to patreon.com/save the game media to check it out. Thanks to those patrons, and that list keeps getting longer. At least every 2 weeks, it seems like there's a new name. So that's awesome. And yeah, so all that squared away. Bree, I'm gonna take a wild guess at what you've been playing,
Okay,
and I
let's
want to
hear
hear
it.
your non-spoilery thoughts on God of War Ragnarok.
How did you know I've been playing Ragnarok?
I am in your walls.
How did you get yes, I have been playing Ragnarok endlessly since it released to the public. 9 p.m. my time Tuesday. Um any free time, I took 2 days off. I took Wednesday, Thursday off from my regular job. I spent the whole day pplaying, spent Friday night playing, spent Saturday day and night playing because work was really slow. So
How
I was
many?
playing during work.
Do you know how many? I know it says when you click the save button how many
Mhm.
hours in you are, or maybe it doesn't. But you know how many? I
It
think it
does.
does. Yeah,
When you manually save, it'll
it
tell
has the
you where you're
playtime. Yeah.
at. Yeah, so I'm at like 29. I think I'm almost at 30 hours.
Ooh.
So, yeah. I have been doing a lot of like side exploring
How is
and
that?
just kind of
Is it
letting myself
substantial side
wander.
content? Are they really worthwhile quests? How is that?
Yes, 100%.
Awesome.
Every single moment in this game is worth the time. Again, we don't want to get into spoilers, but I will say, I have to say, because I just feel like it's something I have to say. This is genuinely the most beautiful game I've ever played. You can say whatever you want about the story, the gameplay, like whatever it is that you have positive or negative opinion about. This game is the most beautiful game I have ever played in my life. It is astonishing all the time. Where I'm like, "Holy cow. I'm playing a video game right now."
Like just looks that good, or like the way it
Yes,
behaves? Okay,
it just looks that good.
interesting. Because
It's astounding.
all right, and you're playing on your TV.
Yes, I have a 65-inch 4K TV. And then I've got
Mm,
my PlayStation 5, of
okay,
course.
nice. I guess I'll transition. That's awesome.
Also, really quick before you transition, just because
Oh,
of
right,
this.
the controller. Audio listeners, I'm sorry, but she's showing her new God of War Ragnarok DualSense right now. It looks as good as I
It's
thought it would.
so beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm so obsessed with it. I'm so glad that I've been using it. It came like the day the game came out. I think I had already played like 5 or 6 hours by the time I got it, but I immediately swapped it out and I've been playing on that one ever since, and it's so beautiful. I love the DualShock. The DualShock 5 is such a fantastic controller.
I mean the
And I
DualSense.
really and oh, I'm sorry, the DualSense.
No DualShock 5. That was ended with the DualShock 4
Ah,
for our
it's
pedants
DualShock
in the
5.
comments and listeners.
But yeah, I just love the way that the controller feels, like not just like obviously this one just is like a prettier version of the controller, but
Yeah,
man, it is a sexy controller.
awesome. I think it looks great.
What have
Um,
you been playing, Taylor? Let me guess.
I, I
Ragnarok, but only a little.
yes, I wish I had more time to play. This has probably been the busiest time in my life in my conscious memory. So I just haven't had a lot of time to play games. I'm dealing with finishing up school, graduating, moving, new job. It's a pretty big life transition that I'm quickly approaching over the next few months. So, and part of that is finishing the semester before Thanksgiving break. Well, the semester ends 2 weeks after Thanksgiving break ends, but leading up to Thanksgiving break, a lot of things are due all at once. So I have to take care of that. And yeah, just been really busy. I've only played like 90 minutes of the game. As the host of a PlayStation show, I wish that figure was larger.
Can I ask how
Um,
were those 90 minutes for you?
they were very good so far. The game opened up exactly as I thought it would,
Mm, the
and
opening is so cool.
yeah, it does. It's more God of War 2018, and that's what I wanted. The game aesthetically, at least in my 1440p 60, my 1440p monitor with the game playing at 60 FPS, the game no HDR. My monitor does not have HDR. It's from 2019. It's a little older. The game looks about as good as, I should say, fidelity wise. It looks a little better than 2018. I wouldn't say it's like Bree. You said it was maybe the most beautiful game you've seen. I guess maybe I haven't gotten to some of the parts that make it look that way
And
for you yet.
I do want to say, like, shout out to Ghost of Tsushima because that game is beautiful, and also shout out to Elden Ring. Those games are like absolutely
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I thought
This
Ghost.
game is on a different level.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay, I thought it looked like 2018, just a bit up-res so far. So it's like
yeah.
that wasn't necessarily a downs. It's not a
It's
downside.
a bad
I guess
thing
that
because 2018. Everybody. It sounds like it's a bad thing when you say, "Oh, it's just more 2018," but 2018 was so
was so
fantastic
good.
that
Yeah,
you want it to be more of
I guess I
2018.
kind of expected it to be something like totally different, but it isn't.
Yeah,
Um,
you just have to wait till you get to different areas.
okay, yeah, I'm still only
Even
in one
areas that
realm.
you've been to before, um, kind of look a little bit different. They've added some details and stuff, and
Okay, awesome.
I
So,
love
but
it.
it's
And the
great.
soundtrack, and oh, it's so good. I
Yep,
just want to like endlessly play it and just not do anything else. So
yeah, it's great so far. So I hope it
my
continues
mom's
to be
so
that way.
funny. She texted me. She's like, "Hey, where is everybody in the Discord? How come nobody's talking about God of War?" And I was like, "Cause we're all playing it. We got time for
Yeah.
nothing else."
Aw, thanks, Bree's mom. Um, but yeah, it's very good so far, and I hope that continues as I play it more. I doubt
Mhm,
I'll be finished the game until probably around Christmas, and I wish I wasn't saying that. But with
mhm.
how busy the semester is, that seems like about where I'll be when I have time to
Yeah,
actually play games and do nothing with my life. So,
yeah.
not to say people who play games heavily do nothing with their lives, because they don't. Kevin completed over 80 games, and he allegedly has a girlfriend and a full-time job.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
Just the same as he's, like, allegedly
and
vegan
yeah,
and
right,
allegedly drinks water.
right. Oh, yeah, he drinks water out of his. He does have a gallon jug, though. I saw that at Extra Life.
Yeah, but I feel like we're
I
more
can't confirm it's
convinced that
water,
it's,
though.
like, vodka. Yeah.
What if it's Everclear?
Yeah, you don't know?
You know, some people can hide that very. Okay, I'm not gonna go that route. Anyway, uh, yeah. So Ragnarok, Ragnarok, Ragnarok.
Yeah, I literally haven't touched anything else. Even before Ragnarok was coming out, like, I literally just like pre-downloaded it, watched some anime. I learned a new technique in knitting. That was exciting. But
Oh, explain.
so there's this thing called double knitting, where basically you're doing. So let's just pretend you're doing like a black and white scarf.
Of course.
So on one side you have you'll have like a black scarf with a white pattern, and then on the other side it'll be white with the black
Oh,
pattern.
like almost
So
like yin
you're
and yang.
basically knitting two scarves at once, but
Hmm.
you're like alternating the colors.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I learned how to do that. Um, so yeah, that's basically what I was doing before Ragnarok, because I just like my whole body felt like it was just like waiting, like my life was on pause for this game. And then when it came out, I was like, okay, we can go now.
Nice.
Yeah, I will say another funny story about this. My sister calls me, Brianna, are you okay? I was like, yeah. What do you mean? Am I okay? Well, you haven't been in the group Snapchat for a while. And I was like,
Wow.
oh yeah.
I've never had someone check up on me because I wasn't active in a group chat.
Yeah, she's like, "Are you good?" And I was
Or
like, "Yeah,
wasn't it?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
just playing a video game." And she's like, "Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good then."
Nice. I should say I never had anybody
She's
check up
so
on me
cute.
for not being active in a group chat for like 3 days. If it
Yeah.
went for like a month and someone didn't hear from me, like yeah, I'd get it. But
I'm like very much I reply to everything immediately, almost.
okay.
Not always immediately, but for the most part, I will reply to
You
messages
see,
immediately because
I
having an
u-
unread message stresses me
yeah,
out.
I used to be that guy, and then I got busier, and then I'm like, I get it. All those times I felt so like the other person was ghosting me or ignoring me, they're just busy. Sometimes I see a message that I need to respond to, but I'm in the middle of something and I have
Mm.
to get back to it. And it's not
Yeah,
out of any malicious intent. It's just
of course.
I'm in the middle of something or I have to do something first. And it's like, I
Yeah.
get it. Before I
Yeah.
always felt so like, why are they ignoring me? Or what is it about me that they're ignoring? It wasn't about, the answer was, it wasn't about me. There are more important things than me. And as like a young teenager, I'm like, this is impossible. How is anything more important than what I'm asking right now? But
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely get that. I used to well, I say I used to. I get pretty bad like anxiety when people don't respond for a long time.
hmm,
Just because it's like did I do something? Because like in the past like year I've had several people ghost me. So I get
boo.
stressed. I get stressed that that's going to happen again. And so logically, like my actual brain understands like, oh, they're super busy, they can't get back
Yeah.
to me. And I understand, but then like my anxiety is like, but
Yep.
what if they never talk to you again?
That's what happens. Yeah. Except for when someone who has anxiety and listeners like you can be it's easy to suffer not easy. I wouldn't shouldn't say easy. Just because you're self-aware that you're having anxiety about something
You can't really do a
intellectually, if
lot
you're
of it
intellectually
about it.
aware of it, that doesn't mean anxiety isn't
Yeah.
a major factor. It still is just like it's almost like watching a car crash. You're like, oh, I'm really anxious right now, aren't I? I hope I
Hmm.
can stop it.
Yeah. And sometimes you can't stop it. Sometimes like I don't know. Sometimes it really sucks to like realize like, well, this day is like kind of done. Like I can do stuff to soothe myself and kind of like relax, but like my anxiety is too far gone to even like recover at this point. I really
So
don't like that,
yeah, not a fan of
but
that. But
happens. Oh well.
yeah. Anyway, let's start getting into the news this past week.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So something interesting that happened is a PS5 Slim has
Wait.
been
Okay, go ahead.
leaked. I was writing the notes for this story. I hoped you would bring out the leak.
Yep.
Has been
Here's the
leaked with
leak.
two E's to release next year. This is again. This is an alleged. This is a rumor. The information here is alleged, not confirmed. Don't take this as anything authoritative on the subject. It's a leak with two E's. And a new PS5 is being developed. Supposedly being developed using a die shrink process to help reduce the size of the console and further reduce shipping and production costs. So that's when they basically are able to make the inner circuitry of a PS5 or inner circuitry in less area and volume. So just performing the same operations in a smaller space with the same efficiency. So reduces material cost, makes production easier. But also, there's supposed to be a significant exterior change too. Using less voltage and running cooler with the new model, It won't be explicitly branded as a Slim, but Sony is trying to make it less bulky, and they're working on eliminating the stand for the horizontal console position. So PS5, Brie, are you not aware of this? That you have to use the PS5 horizontally, you have to position the stand a certain way.
Yeah, no, Oh, so I see. I thought they were saying we don't want the PlayStation 5 horizontal. I
No,
was
no,
like,
no.
that's a
It's like
weird hill to die on.
it's the weird stand set up
The
horizontally
stand.
where
Okay,
you
yeah.
have to make it so the PS5 is balanced such that the console is not flush with whatever surface you're putting it on,
Mhm.
but that it's balanced on the stand. It's really, you know, listeners and viewers, other PS5 owners know how weird it is to mount a PS5 horizontally with that stand Sony includes. Vertically, it's very straightforward in how the console is meant to be stood up
Mhm.
or it's meant to be displayed, but horizontally, it's very weird. So I'm glad they're working on that. And production is slated for Q2 2023 with release in Q3 supposedly. And this is from Stefan Ulmert at the Leak, Leak, but they should be spelled Leek.
Mhm.
But yeah, so this is a thing.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't like super surprising news, I don't think. I
Nope.
think we kind of knew like they've done this the past 2 generations, I want to say, where they have
Yep.
made like a PlayStation and then they make it slim.
And the
And
three
then they make a
PS2.
PlayStation and make it slim.
Yeah, PS2 Slim also was a thing.
Oh, so 4 generations then.
Yeah,
Because there's not a slim on the first one, right?
there's also a new model of the PS1 that came out during the generation, but it wasn't necessarily a Slim. The PS2, there was definitely a PS2 Slim, PS3
Okay.
Slim. There's also
Oh,
the
you know what?
PS3
I know what
Super
you're
Slim
talking about because it had the one of them had the slide thing and then one of them just had the tray thing. I know what you're talking about.
for the
Mhm.
PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah, the PS3 Super Slim came out near the end of the
No.
generation where you would slide the top of the console to get to the
Oh
disc
god.
rather than press the button to eject. It was much smaller, felt a bit cheaper than in quality than the PS3 Slim itself, but
Yeah.
the Super Slim was the final form of that console.
Yeah, so, I mean, this isn't, like, surprising news. I guess it's, like, it is news, but it's just
Yeah,
I feel like this is just gonna forever keep happening until they, like, get, like, to paper thin console.
but
They're
that's
gonna
what
have, like, PS10, and they're gonna be like, "Okay, we got the PS10
right.
Slim."
You say that, but that's kind of what's happened with televisions. The thickness of a
Mhm.
television has gone from right, maybe the
Huge.
thickness of a large bookshelf all the way to
Super thin.
as thin as maybe 100 pieces of paper, and that's the size of the back of your TV on these really thin OLEDs.
Mhm.
Much lighter, lower cost relative to the market. Like TVs have gotten much less expensive over time for the
Mhm.
technology, but it's not going to happen with
Yeah,
consoles.
it's
But the
not
point is this miniaturization of technology um, has shown itself with
yeah.
TVs really well in terms of the form factor just gets smaller and smaller. Um,
It's interesting that when that happens because I feel like, particularly for phones, I think they, like, got smaller and smaller until you got, like, super small, and then they're like, "Okay, now we gotta go back up the other way,
yeah,
get bigger, bigger."
right. And
So I
PCs
wonder if that'll
are an
happen.
interesting case study on it too, because it's like the more powerful components aren't getting smaller. The RTX 4090 is the size of an Xbox Series S, almost one to one.
Oh gosh.
And it's like
That would not fit in my case,
desktop's always
so
been an
I
interesting
don't know
market
about
in that sense. But yeah, miniaturization and um, optimization, making technology more efficient is nothing new, and it's just
Mhm.
continuing that trend.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks.
Exciting news, but nothing crazy, I suppose.
I wouldn't even call it that exciting, but well, actually, I will call it exciting if it increases PS5 supply for prospective consumers who want one and haven't been able to find one.
Mhm.
But you know, anyway,
Yeah.
Bree, take it away with a Momo RPG.
With the moment.
No,
Okay.
MMO RPG.
Sony is making a Horizon MMORPG. Sony and company NCSoft have made a deal to create Horizon MMO, reportedly developed by the South Korean company who made Guild Wars and Lineage MMOs, targeting the global market as part of Sony's live service push. So we've been seeing in the news for the past few weeks. Guerrilla has intended to create a multiplayer Horizon game for a while. Sony pushed for Forbidden West co-op, but Guerrilla wanted to save it for a future project, spin-off, or Horizon 3. The list of job roles includes senior social systems engineers and senior game writer. And I just want to pause here because there's a note that says, in parentheses, Bree, this is you in 10 years.
Yeah, you're gonna be a senior game writer.
I know, but I just like, I want you to know that I saw that this morning and I screenshotted it and I almost cried because it was just
Aw.
so sweet. So I just absolutely adore you, Taylor.
Aw, thanks.
Anyways, job entails enticing players in social interactions to create lasting relationships, and where compatible, create guild-like groups to explore together. Senior game writer position included, quote, extensive knowledge of stories and narrative design in open world RPG games, online games, and MMORPGs to create mission, quest writing, and narrative design. This MMO project follows the recently announced PSVR 2 exclusive Horizon called The Mountain, the reported Horizon Zero Dawn PS5 remaster in development, and the TV show. So they're going hard on Horizon.
Oh yeah.
All the Horizon
It's
content.
like I view it as kind of like the Pokemon model where it's merchandise everything
Mhm.
about it. It's
Yeah.
almost like, when we're trying to fight climate change, electrify everything.
Mhm.
If you hit it off with a big franchise, a big game, merchandise everything, get it into different multimedia markets, beat the hell
Yeah,
out of it, and that's what Sony's doing here. And
for sure.
I think it looks kind of interesting. I'm onto
Yeah.
MMOs, but I know a lot of people who swear by Final Fantasy 14 as like the crown jewel of
I've
all the
played well
kingdoms.
over 1,000 hours in that game at this
Yeah.
point. So yeah,
But
it's
what do you think of this,
fantastic.
Bree?
I'm very excited. Well, I'm hesitantly excited because I've tried out several MMOs and I do not like most MMOs.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Final Fantasy 14 is a very special breed of MMO that works
Mm,
very, very well. So I know that it can't be the same as Final Fantasy because it's not the same kind of setting or anything like that. But if they take notes from Final Fantasy 14, and they follow a lot of those like PvE, raids, trials, those kinds of things, then I will definitely be into this and I will be all over this all day. Um, the other thing I'm very interested to see is how, they integrate it with PC users. If they're just like opening it to crossplay immediately, if this comes out on PlayStation exclusively,
good
and
point.
kind of see what they do with that. Because I think if they try to launch it as a PlayStation exclusive, that
Yeah.
that will not be good because then you have to play it on PlayStation first when MMOs ideally, because you need like, this is why I have this mouse, is, like, I have an
Oh
MMO
yeah.
mouse
Bree has like
because you have
12
so
buttons
many
on the side of her
buttons.
mouse. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have so many abilities and stuff going on
Mm,
that, like, you
I
have to have
agree.
something like that.
For an
So
MMO, it's one of those niche game franchises along with real-time strategy games and a couple others that it's really it basically is necessary. Mouse and keyboard are accessible
mhm,
to for use with the game. And
yeah,
if I'm Sony, I'm releasing this on PC day one with PS5, and
mhm,
it's not even up for debate. That's where actually, in terms of being even more unique, the majority of the market, the MMO consumer base, is on PC, and I think I can say with almost certain confidence that the majority of the MMO consumer base is on PC.
mhm,
Even with Final Fantasy 14 and how big it is on consoles, like Warcraft, um, I don't
yeah.
know, other big RPGs that
It
are around right now, MMORPGs that they're at
Yeah,
home on PC, and Sony would be shooting themselves in the foot if they didn't
if they
release
didn't,
that
mhm,
market on day one, financially at the
absolutely.
very least. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, MMOs just the thing is like, I played Final Fantasy 14 on PS5 or PS4 first, excuse me, PS4 first, and, I had a great experience with it, but then when I switched to playing on PC, it was, like, such a better experience, it was like night and day, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is why you play this game on a PC," because it just, like, all of a sudden, like, all of the buttons that you have to, like, figure out because in order to because you have, like, 12 abilities, and you have 2 bars of 12 abilities plus a 3rd bar for me, I so basically you have, like, 36-ish abilities, as well as, like, moving and stuff like that, and you just can't realistically map that onto, like, a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 controller. So, I'm very interested to see where they go with this, how many abilities they have, because they could limit the abilities. The other thing I'm interested is to see if they add a PvP element, which I really think they're going to. What I think they're going to do is do guilds. And then when you go out to hunt monsters, you're probably fighting other guilds for the monster and stuff like that. In which case, I may not be interested because I don't like PvP very much because people get really nasty. That's when people get mean in MMOs. So we'll see. We'll see. But it
Okay,
sounds
fair
very
enough.
exciting.
Yeah. See, I'm happy for MMO fans and Horizon fans. So yeah.
Mhm.
This next story is a doozy. I'm just gonna prepare listeners. We're
Trigger
gonna talk about
warnings.
the huh?
I said trigger warning
Oh,
for
trigger
mean
warning
people.
for mean people. Yeah. The Doom 20. So we're gonna talk about what just happened with Mick Gordon and id Software regarding Doom Eternal. So let me just start that. The Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, Killer Instinct 2013, and he's composed other games, Atomic Heart, which will be releasing in 2023. Mick Gordon has been a very prolific game soundtrack producer over the past 10 years. And he worked on, like I said, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal's soundtrack, but he's spoken out on some controversy around the development of that game's music. And starting from the top, there was a controversy a couple years ago regarding conflict between Doom Eternal's developers at id Software and the game composer himself, Mick Gordon. Fans noticed mixing differences between the same tracks from Doom Eternal's Collector's Edition soundtrack and the same songs from Doom 2016, like the song BFG Division, which is on both games. And Gordon said, sorry, and they found that a lot of fans were saying that mixing of the track was less dynamic in the Eternal and Doom Eternal, which was a sequel to Doom 2016, right? You would expect these tracks to sound either identical or better in Eternal rather than the other way around. And Gordon said on social media he didn't actually mix these tracks, and that the game executive producer Marty Stratton issued a public statement on Gordon's work. Stratton said publicly that he had concerns Gordon wouldn't be able to finish. Sorry, Gordon and Mick Gordon are all the same people here. It's Mick Gordon. Stratton said publicly he had concerns that Gordon wouldn't be able to deliver on time, and said the two likely wouldn't work again in the future. And he released that information publicly. Now, 2 years removed from that Doom Eternal controversy, Mick Gordon shared his side in a Medium.com post, which is very long. It has a table of contents, guys, for how long Mick's response was on this. He alleged too tight. Mick alleged that there were deadlines that were too tight, there was crunch, and there were pay issues with developing Doom Eternal soundtrack. He said that he went unpaid for 11 months and only was paid for half of the music he developed for the game, or half of the music that made it to the final game. He wasn't paid for, and still hasn't received that outstanding half payment. Mick Gordon also claimed that id Software announced Eternal's OST without making a deal with him for the production beforehand, ignoring his deal-making efforts. He eventually went directly to Bethesda for a deal, who was the parent company for id Software, and ZeniMax, and now Xbox is now the parent company for Bethesda ZeniMax, but at the time it was Bethesda. So Mick went around it and went directly to Bethesda to negotiate a deal. And after delays, he eventually got a contract for 12 songs, which he also crunched for. And Chad Mossholder's work, who was another audio engineer on Doom Eternal's music on that project, they were mostly edits of Mossholder's work were mostly edits of Mick's own music, which formed the majority of the final release's soundtrack. And that's nothing against Mossholder. Mossholder's part of his job as audio
He's just
engineer
doing his job.
was to edit these tracks and
Yeah.
mix them and help with that process. But quoting from Mick in the Medium article, he says, "I never quit Doom. I quit a toxic client." Mick also claimed that Stratton and him were to have a call to discuss the negative Doom Eternal OST feedback from fans, and Stratton ended up berating Mick for failing. They agreed to release a joint statement, but then Stratton published an open letter on Reddit, and Mick was harassed and doxxed repeatedly as a consequence. Mick eventually pursued legal action, but settlement negotiations dissipated when Mick asked Stratton to take down the Reddit post, which we presume Stratton refused to do. And Mick Gordon claimed after this whole ordeal, he was offered over $100,000 to take full responsibility for the OST's failure, which he declined. Quoting Mick, he said, "I've worked on some great games, built lifelong friendships, and worked my butt off in the trenches with some of the best creative minds on earth." And quote, "I've had many great experiences in the game industry, but my collaboration with Marty Stratton wasn't one of them." Again, I never quit Doom. I quit a toxic client. And Marty, I'm quoting Mick, Marty couldn't accept that I never wanted to work with him again and made his best attempt to send my career into a nosedive as punishment. He resorted to lies and innuendo that fell apart under the most basic level of scrutiny, then tried to bury the issue under a stack of cash. So this summary comes to us from Rebecca Valentine at IGN. Uh, this is this is nuts. Again, this is all allegations against Stratton from Mick, but this taking this at face value, this is obscene. It's just nuts. The facts of this whole situation, and
Yeah.
if
And
Stratton
again, just
is as
really quick, we are
sorry,
taking this at face value because, like, with the thing that happened with Bayonetta's voice actress, ended up not necessarily being like 100% of the truth. I'm not
yeah,
saying that like Gordon is lying. We're saying that we're just taking this at the face value of the situation of the information that we have right now.
yeah,
Right.
um, this is just really un um, indefensible
Unprofessional.
behavior, unprofessional behavior from Stratton at the very least. And really, the thing that jumps out to me here is that ordeals like this, especially in a market where your work is publicized, like regardless of any legal or financial ramifications, the court of public opinion and court of career reputation, that can stick with you for a lifetime. Any
Especially in such a small industry, like specifically music is pretty small in the
games,
video
music,
games
right?
industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like obviously gaming industry, guys, is a huge budget or it's like huge in terms of financial revenue, gigantic industry if you look at financials only. But when it comes to notable workers who are mainstays in the industry, it's a small world. It's really small world.
It's really small. And the
Um,
other thing is that composers also work on TV shows and movies a lot too,
yep.
and they cross over between the two industries. Um, and so this isn't just like him just taking the blame for this isn't just like worth the 100,000, right? Because it's like not only is that like not only is he not being paid for the work that he did put in, he then got offered $100,000, which is basically like, hey, like just be quiet. But
Right.
like
That'll pale in
that's gonna
comparison.
end up losing more than
Yeah.
$100,000
Right.
over his
That'll
career,
pale in the
right?
comparison to the amount he loses over his career if he doesn't try to repair his reputation. And that's
Yeah.
obviously his very thorough attempt here to do
And
so.
it's so slimy that like that he kept like saying like, "Hey, like let's work this out. Let's be like adults. Let's be professionals about this." And then like Stratton just kept like going behind him and making public posts.
Yeah, it
Like,
seems
why
like
are we dragging this out into the public? Like,
I wonder if there's something we don't know. Like I wonder if there's some personal vendetta that Stratton had against Mick. When you go to these
maybe?
lengths to do stuff like this, it just seems really, really hard to believe that Stratton wasn't taking something really personal.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. Um,
Has to be personal.
yeah, but I don't think I have anything more to say on it. That I just hope it gets resolved. It's
I hope that like him finally saying something. I hope this gets resolved because this is horrendous. Like this is like it's so unprofessional on so many levels, like not only in just like communication, but like being paid. I hope that Gordon has like all of these receipts of like, hey, this is how much that you agreed to pay me. This is how much I have been paid. Cause like he should have at this point he should have sued for this money, right? So like
well,
I really hope he has like proof so that he can because
well,
like
they tried suing, right? But like in the story, he tried suing, but um, or sorry, I should say,
and they
tried
tried
for
to
a
work out a
settlement.
deal.
They
Yeah.
tried to work out a settlement. My bad. That's not quite suing. A lot of times, litigation and a lawsuit ends in a settlement,
Right.
but you don't. You can start if you can gun for a settlement at the onset rather than going through actually suing the other person completely and then ending in a settlement. But
Mhm.
yeah. And by the way, guys, no one likes to get sued or go through litigation. Like even if you like hate the person you're suing and they think they did some horrible thing, a lawsuit and litigation is one of the most obscenely expensive activities a person can undergo and endure. Like if you're not filthy rich, it can put you in the complete financial gutter, especially if it doesn't pay off. So
Mhm.
like And Mick is also putting his reputation on the line, releasing this story publicly. So like, there's a lot that rides on this to get his career together, and I hope it pays off, taking this at
Yeah.
face value. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But
Nasty. Alrighty. In good
on a brighter
news,
note,
yeah. We've got our November PS Plus games for Extra and Premium. This comes from the PlayStation blog, of course. It's going to be Adam Michael. I don't know how to say that. Because
Adam Michelle, maybe Michelle,
okay,
or
sure. I don't
Mitchell or
know.
Michelle. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Skyrim Special Edition for PS4, PS5, Kingdom Hearts, woo,
Sorry,
HD.
everything she's mentioning is all for
This is
extra.
extra. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. 1.5 and 2.5 remix for PS4, 2.8 final chapter prologue for PS4, and 3 for PS4. That's all Kingdom Hearts. Oh, and then we also have Melody of Memory for PS4.
It's like, yeah, they just cut a sweet
Play
deal.
Kingdom Hearts. It's so good. It's
Really?
so good.
I
It's
don't know.
so
Yeah.
good. Play
I
it.
Ragnarok. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean after you play Ragnarok, of course, and after Callisto. Anyways,
Yeah.
Oddworld Soulstorm, the enhanced edition for PS4, PS5. This was previously released on PS Plus Essentials at
Actually,
the
I'm
game's
not.
release.
I know I wrote it. It was previously released. I'm not sure if the enhanced edition was.
So this is a special.
It might be
Enhanced.
different. I know at least Oddworld Soulstorm on release day was released on PS Plus, like
Mhm.
before they introduced. This is before Sony did the tiers of essential, extra, and
Oh,
premium.
okay.
But enhanced edition might be actually edition that's a step up from what we got on
Okay.
PlayStation Plus previously. So yeah.
Cool. Alrighty, and then we've got the Division 2 for PS4, Ghost Recon Breakpoint for PS4, Chorus for PS4 and PS5, What Remains of Edith Finch for PS4. This is a really short experience, highly recommend it. The Gardens Between for PS4 and PS5, Earth Defense Force, EDF, World Brothers for PS4. And then again, EDF Iron Rain for PS4. And then I assume this is Japanese, so I'm going to pronounce it Japanese, which would be One Chanbara Origin for PS4. And then for the premium, this is going to be all for PS3 streaming.
We mentioned this last week, but
This is what we talked about last week with the Ratchet and Clank, but we've got Ratchet and Clank 1, 2 going commando, Up Your Arsenal Deadlocked, Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction. So those were the titles we talked about last week, but they're officially going up the 15th, I think.
I think so. Actually, I'm not.
Cool.
Yeah, it should be then.
I'm pretty sure it's the 15th.
Yeah.
So yeah, get your games. I mean, play Ragnarok and then get your games.
Right. Also, listeners, anyone who's playing Ragnarok on PS4, I'm curious to hear how the performance is for you.
Oh, I am too.
If you're in the Discord, ping me or Brianna, myself, or Ethan and Sam, and let us know. Yeah. But yeah. More good news. Control 2 has been confirmed.
Woo!
So Remedy signed a new agreement with their publisher, or with the publisher of Control 1, 505 Games, to co-develop and co-publish Control 2, which was previously codenamed Huron. And the development budget is 50 million euro, which
Woo!
roughly equates to
a
good amount of money, US dollars. What is it? Let's see. It's not 1-to-1, but it's pretty close, right?
Euro to USD. Hold on,
I'm gonna say it's like 60. I'm gonna say it's like 55 million USD.
Oh man, that's too many numbers.
Oh, it's 51. It's 51,648 dollars.
51 million.
Sorry, $51,648,000. So
yeah,
a little more USD, but
a lot of money.
It's a good amount of cash. Certainly not an indie title. It's maybe if we had a scale here where I don't know, AA going to giant AAA like Red Dead Redemption 2, this budget seems like it might be on the lower end of a AAA budget.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, Remedy will remain owner of the Control IP, and the revenues will be equally split between Remedy and 505 that come from Control 2. And the game will be coming out on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and it's built on Remedy's in-house Northlight game engine, not the Unreal Engine 5, which seems like everybody's going to these days, like CD Projekt Red is transitioning to.
Yeah.
And Remedy will be publishing this on PC, and 505 Games will be publishing it on console. And Rami and Raf Galante, CEOs of 505 Games, say, quote, Control is the biggest investment 505 Games has ever made. so it has a special place in our hearts. We are grateful to the whole player community that has made Control such a long-standing and loved game, and are even more excited to bring out Control 2. And they have a lot of reason to make it their biggest investment in 505 games, because the original Control sold over 3 million copies since 2019, and it got numerous Game of the Year nominations for that year and won Game of the Year out of many outlets. So this is great for Remedy and Control. Yeah, awesome. And this comes on top of the recent Max Payne news that Remedy was getting back into it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, let me Google that to make sure.
I genuinely, while you're
Remedy.
Googling that, I'm so disgustingly excited about this. Like, the first Control was
I have it
amazing.
on GOG or GOG, and I have it on PlayStation Plus, and I haven't played it yet.
You really should play it. It's such a special experience. It really is. Like, and I just remember, like, because there's a part in the game, it's not open world, but there's a part in the game where the game kind of opens up. And I just remember when I was playing it, like, this, like, overwhelming feeling. It was, like, almost like magical, where it was like, I can't believe that this game exists, because a lot of the times when you play games, you're like, this is what I want this game to be, and it doesn't necessarily meet up to those expectations. And so that's kind of what I was expecting. I was like, wow, this seems really cool. It would be really cool if this is what happened. And it does that. Every time, every expectation I had for this game, it met it. And it's fantastic. This game is so good. And I'm very excited for Control 2. I really hope it's just genuinely more of the same thing. If we can just stay in the house, or even maybe go to like a site outside, I would be happy. I'd be happy.
Right. Well, I wonder if they do more with Alan Wake, because I haven't played Control, but I know Remedy confirmed. Well, there's an Alan Wake expansion,
Mhm.
um, the all DLC or AWE. I don't know how they pronounce it, but
Altered
that
World event, yeah.
yeah, that Control and Alan Wake are in the same universe. So I
Uh-huh.
wonder if we see more crossover in the sequel, whatever that entails, and however that happens. Leave that up to Remedy.
I Yeah, who knows? Uh, I'm so mad about Alan Wake sucking.
Wait, you didn't like it?
I played the remake that came out, whatever, like 20 whatever. I don't remember when it came out. But yeah, I just bought it for Halloween and I
Yeah.
hated
And then
it.
Alan Wake 2 is being developed, right, for next year. So,
Yeah, I have a feeling I'll really enjoy Alan Wake too. It's the combat was the problem for the first one.
okay,
So,
fair enough. Awesome. And we have some Final Fantasy 16
yes.
news, Bree.
Yeah, okay, so we're gonna do, like, a very brief there's 2 points here. There are 2 different, pieces of the story that are, like, completely unrelated, but they're both Final Fantasy 16 news. So the
Mhm.
first piece is, according to a new ad for the PlayStation 5, Final Fantasy 16 will be exclusive to the console for 6 months. It's unclear whether this exclusivity is simply console exclusivity, meaning it won't be on Xbox, or if it's 100% exclusive and it won't be on PlayStation or on, PC either. Um, there looks like several news outlets have reached out for a comment on that to try and clear it up, because they've done it both ways for different Final Fantasy game, and there hasn't been any clarity in that. So looks like we're gonna. I mean, I was probably planning on playing Final Fantasy 16 on PlayStation 5 anyways, but guess we'll see. Okay, and then this next piece, this is actually a news story kind of from last week. It kind of updated a little bit this week, but I missed it last week, so I sincerely apologize. Okay, Final Fantasy 16 director Naoki Yoshida has addressed the lack of diversity in the game, specifically the lack of both ethnic and sorry, eth- yeah, ethnic diversity and women. During an interview with IGN, Yoshida was asked to comment on the latest trailer, and this is a huge long quote. This is a difficult question, but not one that was unexpected, seeing as diversity in entertainment media has become a much discussed topic as of late. The answer I have, however, may end up being disappointing to some depending on individual expectations. Due to the underlying geographical, technological, and geopolitical constraints of the setting, Valisthea was never going to realistically be as diverse as, say, a modern day Earth, or even Final Fantasy XIV, that has an entire planet and moon worth of nations, races, and cultures at its disposal. The isolated nature of this realm, however, does end up playing a large part in the story and is one of the reasons Valisthea's fate is tied to the rest of the world. Ultimately, we felt that while incorporating ethnic diversity into Valisthea was important, an over incorporation into this single corner of a much larger world could end up causing a violation of those narrative boundaries we originally set for ourselves. The story we are telling is fantasy, yes, but it is also rooted in reality. In the end, we simply want to focus to be less on the outward appearances of our characters and more on who they are as people who are complex and diverse in their natures, backgrounds, beliefs, personalities, motivations, people whose stories we can resonate with. There is diversity in Valisthea, diversity that, while not all encompassing, is synergetic with the setting we've created and is true to the inspirations from which we are drawing. End quote. As a long, long PR talk for, yeah, we don't want to add more people in the game.
Well,
I
because we
at
don't want
some
to add more
point,
people. Oh, sorry.
no, I was gonna say I kind of kind of understand what they're saying, and that it's like, we're trying to create like a realistic setting, but like it's unrealistic to say because they're basing this as like based on like European culture, and maybe medieval times, to say that like black people didn't exist during that time. I don't know. It seems kind
Yeah,
of
it's a
weird.
little bit weird.
Seems kind of weird. I feel like they did exist. I guess I could be wrong, but I think they probably existed. Um, the other thing that I thought was so funny is there was a tweet reply to this. I mean, it's not funny. They should just add diversity and stop being dicks. But the thing that I thought was so funny was somebody responded to this, that was like, as a woman living in Europe, I can confirm I exist. Which I thought was so funny. But yeah, no, it's basically like this whole cast is just like white males. So
Yeah, I don't. It seems kind of a.
I understand what they're saying where they're like, well, we just didn't want to be diverse. But it's like at this point, like you're creating a fantasy setting, so who cares if it's diverse?
I mean, at this.
Like what a hill to die on.
Mm. I want diversity. I want diversity in video games, and ideally, when they were in the game making process and they were earlier in development than they are, that
Mm-hmm.
they were going to include gender diversity, ethnic diversity, but they didn't really do much of that. A lot of JRPGs aren't really that diverse, because
Right.
a lot of video games and the races that are represented in those video games are a product of where the developer is in the world
Mm-hmm.
a fair amount of time. And
Yeah, but
this,
the thing is like,
but I'm not justifying because I feel like Final Fantasy has always had this reputation of the anime looking pale characters on the screen.
mm, no, so Final Fantasy 14, I think has a I mean, I don't think it has as much diversity as they're touting it to have, but it does have diversity. Um, and so it's very bizarre to me because Naoki Yoshida was the director for Final Fantasy 14 as well. So it's just very bizarre to me that like I feel like it's very like this is very tone deaf. Where they're just basically saying, oh well, we know that this has been discussed lately, but like we just don't care about the discussion.
It almost
Because
seems like he's hurting himself more by
yeah, yeah.
saying this.
I mean, the thing is like logically I understand what they're saying, but at the same time, like it's not that difficult. Like for a really fantastic example, and I know this was like very controversial for people that are not very nice, just to put it politely. But like Lord of the Rings had a diverse cast of characters and it was fine. Like
Yeah,
it was all okay. Like it was all okay. And so like again, they're making a made up place called Valisthea. And nobody would be like, you know what? This is based on Europe. I really am very offended that there's like a black person in this game. Like nobody's gonna do that. And if they do, it's one person, and we know that they're racist. They're just calling themselves out, you know? Like
yeah.
it's such a weird hill to die on, and
I guess
it's
they should
bizarre.
have. I guess my question is like, what would they do then at this point to fix it? Would they roll back development, and add in diverse characters? Would
At
they
this point,
how would you fix it at this point? Or would you just say, or just maybe admit fault and say, this game could have been diverse and we should have considered it more in development? but
Yes.
the game is too far along at this point to meet the financial and release maybe
Because
deals
this
that
is
we have.
releasing next summer. Like, we're coming
Yeah,
up
2023
to the
summer. Yeah,
release, like, we're coming up to the release very quickly.
I think that was probably
There's no way that they can just, like, rewrite all of this
right.
stuff, so,
I think the
like,
best way would be to
anything
a mid fault and just
yeah.
go.
And I think that they can add, because the thing is, like, I 110% guarantee that there's a bunch of characters in this. There's no way, right? Even if this is like an isolated world, like, you still have people that are quest givers, right? This is going to be some sort of open world experience where you have people giving quests, you have people that like are part of the quests and stuff like that. If we see diversity there, I understand that it's not ideal, but I think that they could easily do that. And again, doesn't fix the problem, but at least helps. And again, adding to what you say, they say, "Hey, we messed up, but, you know, like, we're like, at this point, like, it's too far gone, like, we can't change the main characters,"
Yeah,
you know? So, I don't know. Because the thing is it's like to change somebody, like, you can't just, like, change a character's skin color and just call it, because then that would be weird, right? You'd have to, like, also change their, like, features and stuff like that. So I understand that it's unrealistic to, like, change the main characters that have already been developed and have already been, um, like, already have, like, a look to them. But they could be doing something. So I guess I don't think they're going to do anything. The thing is like, this is like a Japanese company, and like, I don't think this is going to do too much to the game, unfortunately. I don't
yeah.
think
I
there's
still
going to
hope
be
the game ends
serious
up being good.
repercussions of this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Boo. Be nice.
I was. I feel like Bree, you want to read this next story.
I do. I really do.
All right, do it.
I really do. Okay. A Dark Souls 3 2D pixel art Metroidvania was pitched to Bandai Namco 6 years ago and was seemingly rejected. According to artist Thomas Feichtmeyer, I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong, via Twitter, quote, a Dark Souls 3 2D pixel art Metroidvania was pitched to Bandai Namco around 6 years ago. This is now finally out of NDA, so enjoy the visuals created back then. The Feichtmeyer has worked on a number
Yeah,
of
Fight Meyer, I
Metroidvanias
think is it.
uh, that were that were inspired by the darker tone that Dark Souls has, including Blasphemous, which is a beautiful game if you haven't played that. I love that game. One screenshot depicting Dark Souls 3 boss, Dancer of the Boreal Valley, which is one of the best bosses, is all that we've seen so far, but it looks so freaking cool. That's my notes here. Quote, the art here was created in a style which would have been doable in the average budget estimations of Metroidvania back then. And I urge you to just Google Dark Souls 3 2D pixel Metroidvania or something along those lines and look at this art. It is so cool. Like, all caps, so cool. I am obsessed with this. I am so bummed that this doesn't exist. It it looks just like Dark Souls, except for 2D pixel art Metroidvania. Oh, this makes me so angry that this was turned down. Like, so angry. But it looks so good.
It looks really good, and I have it on my screen right now.
Devastating that it doesn't exist.
I really, yeah, they can't distribute this without getting sued. So damn it.
Oh, well, because it's out of NDA, so they can release the art that they did,
The
right?
art, I'm talking about releasing the game to like demo.
Oh, yeah. I just think that it was a pitch, so it was probably
Oh,
just
oh
like
yeah.
just
Oh,
like
you think it was just art rather
concept
than
art.
a
Yeah.
working product? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Oh yeah, and this next story, it's about PC, and I can hear the pedants in the comments saying, "Oh, this is a PlayStation show. Why are you talking about PC?" Because we can, and if you don't like it, you can go.
It was just Dark Souls news, which is like, we're huge
And Bree
Dark
loves
Souls
Dark Souls,
fans.
so we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah. Just really quick.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to read it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Dark Souls Remake on PC is finally back online. From Software has restored online features for the PC version of Dark Souls Remastered after the servers were taken offline earlier this year for hacking concerns. And by the way, the hacking concerns were not just like quote unquote concerns. People were literally having their computers like taken over. Like the entire computer was like getting taken over from this hack. Like this was a very serious hack. So online features for Dark Souls Remastered, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3 were all taken down in January after the quote serious exploit that allowed hackers to take control of the players' computers. Over the following months, Bandai Namco and From Software worked to remove the exploit, and in August, the servers for Dark Souls 3 were successfully brought back online. Multiplayer services for Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin followed in October. From Software revealed a while back that the original PC release, Dark Souls Prepare to Die, would never have its online services restored. Quote, we've determined that we will not be able to support online services for the PC version of Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition that was released in 2012 due to an aging system. We apologize for the long wait and ask for your understanding in this matter. This was the craziest hack story I think I've heard in a while. Like when it happened back in January, I think is what it is. It was just so crazy that it just like really it was an insane, serious exploit, like it says. But yeah, this comes from Anthony Wood at IGN, by the way. Just crazy, and I'm glad that it's back up online. Bummer that Prepare to Die won't be back online, but oh well.
I own Prepare to Die on Steam. I got it before Dark Souls Remastered came out, and I never got Dark Souls Remastered. But I never played PvP anyway, so I'm like, yeah. But yeah, nice. I'm glad they got it back
I mean,
online.
the other thing is like the online services. I don't do PvP. I hate PvP. It makes me really
A lot
angry.
of people do co-op though.
Yeah. So I like the co-op part, but when you allow people to come into your world to help you, you also get invaded, and that's when I get really angry.
If you have a password up, but then you have to know the person beforehand.
Yeah. So the other thing that I really enjoy about Dark Souls Online particularly is the messages, and I think that's a huge part of the Dark Souls
Oh yeah.
experience. So I think that that's like the part that would be the saddest part for me is I really love reading the messages. You go and it's like butthole, but space hole because they can't write butthole.
And it's 1T.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or
I would
like
miss those messages, you know?
I like the messages where it's like treasure head, and it's very obviously just a cliff, and like
You'll
you know
die
if
if you
you
jump
fall off the
off.
cliff you will die, but someone just puts their treasure head.
Yeah. The other one is like when you go to a dead end, they're like nothing
Well,
here.
the only time in
Stuff
Dark
like
Souls I
that.
found myself actually able to like a scenario I can think of where a player can stand on what looks like an invisible surface is Anor Londo in Dark Souls 3.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, yeah. um,
I
nice.
love the messages. They always crack me up.
Yeah, they're
There's
funny.
so many like finger here
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Or what is it? An Elden Ring dog, and it's like just a turtle. It's like
Oh,
dog
there's
ahead,
also you
dog.
can also use pickle because there's an item that's like a pickled foot or something like that. So you can use the word pickle, and people like write like pickle everything.
That's funny.
It's so funny. People, it's like it's such a troll thing, but it's so funny because you can only use certain words.
Hmm.
Or the I did it. I love those as well, where people are like really excited, like in boss
Nice.
rooms and stuff. Ah, I love Dark Souls. 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Alrighty. Where you want to go from here?
We could do Limitless, but I think some of the prompts we have here are a bit older, but hmm. Actually, I'm not going to go with anything on here. I just have something on top of my head.
How dare you?
What's your favorite controller you've ever used?
DualShock
Which
4?
DualShock 4? That's a PlayStation 4 controller.
Let me think on it. Hold on. I kind of want to say the DualSense, but
A lot of people say that nowadays.
let me pick it up. I got my
She's
DualShock 4
she's
back
getting her
here.
God of War controller.
I
Or
have
no,
two
her
God of War
regular.
controllers. This is my God of War controller, but it's
She
my
has her
other one.
PS4 God of War controller.
Okay,
I
let me
think
pick up the other one.
I think the DualSense is a better controller than the DualShock 4.
No, you're right. You're right. It is. It is. But shout out to the DualShock 4. It was a fantastic controller.
My day one DualShock 4 lasted me the entire generation. Never got a new controller. I only used the one that came with the
Look
console.
at this.
No drift, no issues.
So
I guess
sexy.
I'm an anomaly. So many people got extra controllers, but not me. It's awesome. Bree, you should get little controller stands from like Etsy or Amazon or something to put them up.
I should. Will I? Probably not.
No.
but I should.
That's
Anything that makes my life like more convenient, I'll be like, I should buy that, and then I don't, and then like I just like impulse buy random stuff I don't actually
yeah,
need.
that's how I feel about a Bluetooth speaker for the shower. I just put my phone
I
at
have one.
full volume, and I'm like, I really should just get a Bluetooth
Let me sell
speaker.
you on this. Let me sell you on this. I have not only a Bluetooth speaker, which arguably you could live without. It's fine. I have something in the shower that holds my phone like a little TV. It's a
But your
little
phone might get wet.
case. Nope, it's a case. It's a waterproof case that you seal your phone into, and it's like a little TV stand so you can watch
And then you can
TV.
hear from the speaker. So then you could like watch Netflix while you're having a shower.
Yep, exactly.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's only like $10 on Amazon.
I might
It
need it.
has changed my life, and I mean that so sincerely.
But then I might start taking showers that are way longer than I should be just because I'm watching TV in the shower. We want to save water, kids, but
That's true.
that's funny. All right.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Highly recommend it.
Anything else you want to say from Limitless, or
I can't believe you didn't want to cover this one, but I'm very upset about the Henry Cavill news. That's all I'll say about it.
oh, what, The Witcher?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for listeners who don't know, Henry Cavill will not be returning for The Witcher season 3, right?
Devastating. Yeah.
He was in season. Yes, there are
Wait,
2 seasons of the show now, right?
I think he is in season 3, but not in season 4.
Oh, whoops! I didn't even know there was 3 seasons.
Hold on. Witcher. I'm looking it up.
What's this? Quits The Witcher after season 3.
After season 3, yes.
So yeah, after season 3, Henry Cavill quit and will not be returning. But could this be connected to the? I heard news that he's reprising his role as Superman in Man of Steel 2.
So there's 2 rumors about this. One is that he said, I can't do both Superman and The Witcher at the same time. I just don't have the time for it.
Yeah, Superman's
Which to
super
me,
demanding
I
physically.
don't that doesn't make sense because like it's not like he has to change his physique between the 2 shows.
But,
I
what
don't know.
if,
That doesn't make sense to me. The
but what if
second
filming is in
rumor,
2 like separate continents or something?
that's fair. The second rumor is that Netflix decided to leave the source material for season 4, and Henry Cavill said, "Hey, I don't want to leave like the source material. Like I'd like to stick true to the source
Yeah,
material." And they
the
said, "No, we're
books.
going to do what we want." And so he said, "Either you follow the source material or I walk." And they said, "Okay." That's the other
Yeah.
rumor.
Cavill is a big nerd. For people who don't know, he builds PCs. He plays World of Warcraft. He's big into PC gaming. He's like, even though he looks like the chiseled Greek god of whatever, he is a nerd internally. So I think that's a bold. It's also a courageous move to say, I could
Yeah,
have taken
here.
the money, but I want this to be true to the books, or I'm leaving,
Yeah.
or fire me. So
So as of season 2, so this is coming from, I don't even know what this website is. Hold on, let me go to a different website because I saw 3 articles that said this. But basically it was that like in season 2, he said that they weren't necessarily seeing eye to eye with Netflix. Like Netflix and Henry Cavill weren't seeing eye to eye on production on The Witcher, and so there were some growing pains in season 2. So they're like that's where that theory comes from, that like after season 3 he was just like, I can't do this
okay,
anymore.
fair enough.
So yeah, so that's bad news. And I'm also, Netflix stresses me out because they have the rights to Avatar right now, and that stresses me out.
They have the rights to the IP, the
To
Avatar
Avatar:
Last
The Last Airbender.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they have, well, so there's 2 different things going on right now, right? There's Avatar Studios, which is the animation, and that's the original creators, and they're doing 3 movies right now. They have like 3 movies in pre-production, I think. And then there is Netflix, and they're doing a live action, and it's already been cast, and
oh,
it's
wow.
like being
Right.
filmed.
I need to watch Korra. I still haven't done that.
Korra is really, I think you will enjoy Korra specifically, Taylor.
Oh, what is that supposed to mean?
I just think you'll enjoy Korra.
All right.
It's just the type of people that you enjoy.
I think I played a couple episodes of it and I didn't catch it for some reason. Maybe I need to push through.
Korra's very different from Avatar.
Yeah, so everyone says it's different.
It's very different. And the thing is that it's like, it sucks that Korra is like Because Korra on its own is a fantastic TV show, but when you compare it to like the first, like when you compare it to Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's so difficult because it's like Avatar is so good
After so
that
good. It's so
it's
bad.
like so good that it's like having Korra come after that. If a Korra was like a separate thing, it's like it's fantastic, but
Mhm.
having it next to those to Avatar, it's like it's hard to compare.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoy Avatar: The Last Airbender, but it makes me sick to my stomach that like if it really is true that they're not staying true to the source material for Witcher, and the creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender left the live action production because of creative differences with Netflix.
Oh,
I
come
just
on,
get worried
Netflix.
about it. So I
Also,
just don't want an M. Night
yeah.
Shyamalan moment.
Oh God, not that. Also, Netflix canceled Dark Crystal after one season,
How dare they? I haven't even
and
watched it because I'm scared to watch
well,
it
the
and
original
enjoy
movie
it.
came out in the 80s, and then the show they did
Mhm.
for Netflix came out, and it won an Emmy for Best Kid Show, and Netflix still canceled it. I'm like,
Yeah, they don't.
what? Because it didn't make enough money. I'm like, it won an Academy Award, and you're
Netflix is the
canceling it.
worst about that.
Oh man, that's the con of the big budget production is when they hit, like when it like almost like an Avengers Infinity War, when the success and the quality of the production match the budget it's given, it's so amazing. But
Mhm.
then all that money can just or that company can just have the authority to say, I don't wanna, and just push it aside. And then I don't know.
That's so unfortunate.
I really wish that gets resolved one day. But
I really wish that they would stop doing that in general because it's not just Netflix that does it. It's a consistent thing across the film industry and it's really frustrating. One that that really frustrates me is Merlin. That show was fantastic and it got canceled right at the last season. Like they were planning on
mm,
doing the last season and it got canceled.
damn,
And it's stuff like that that really frustrates me. Like Firefly is another one. I have not watched that, but I've heard it's one of the best TV shows of all time and I refuse to watch it because of that. Because it's like it was canceled and it's never been finished.
mm,
So it
well,
just stop doing this, people. If you're gonna make a show, just commit. Just commit,
yeah,
even if
commit,
it's terrible.
commit. It's cuffing season. Come on, commit to the
Hmm.
show.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, but nice. With all that
Y-
said, I
Really
think we're gonna
quick,
move on to the
have you hit the any holiday movies yet? I'm just curious. You heading into the holiday
no.
movies or not yet?
I just plan to watch Home Alone. Like that's my Christmas movie. Other than that, I don't really plan to watch any. I'm not a big holiday movie guy. I'm gotten more into Halloween movies, but when it comes to Christmas, not really. But I love Home Alone, Home Alone 2.
Hmm.
I loved The Muppets Christmas Carol, and I like Scrooged with Bill Murray. Um,
I have to say, just in case anybody's looking for a holiday film, there's a film after all that hate on Netflix. There's a film that Netflix made called Single All the Way. And it's basically just like your Hallmark movie,
oh wait, I
but
think I heard about
gay.
this. Is
And
Lindsay
it's
Lohan
so good.
or
No.
something? Oh, wait,
Jennifer
whoops.
Coolidge is though. Jennifer Coolidge plays like a crazy aunt in that.
Oh,
And it's so good.
wait, no, this is Lindsay
I love
Lohan.
that movie. This is my new favorite holiday movie. It just came out
Oh
last
wow.
year. And I will be watching it every year for the rest
Uh,
of my life. It's fantastic. So yeah, Single All the Way. Um, it's a fantastic movie. And it's such a feel good movie. So
Yeah, I think I mentioned Lindsay Lohan because Netflix is also releasing a Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie called Falling for Christmas.
hmm, interesting. I'll probably check that out. I enjoy. I'll usually check out a garbage Christmas movie one time. You know, just check it out. But Single All the Way is not a one time watch for me. That's gonna be every year forever. Also, Ghoul School. Scooby Doo Ghoul School will be the other one that I
There you go.
watch. Yeah. Anyways,
Cool.
I was
Nice.
just curious. We can go to the
No, it's all
outro
well, it's
now.
fine. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for listening. And remember, you can find us on youtube.com/save the game media and check out the Discord and the Patreon. Links are all in the show notes. And Bree, where can people find you?
You can find me at Fabulous Brianna, almost everywhere. We discussed this last week, but I don't have a MySpace, so you can't find me there. But other than that, you can usually find me.
All right. Nice.
Where can people find you, Taylor?
People can find me at DeviantArt. No, I'm just kidding. You can find me on Discord as Taylor.
I
And
would just if you had a deviant art that you were just secretly
I don't have a
hiding,
DeviantArt.
that would make me so happy.
Maybe I do. You won't ever know, will you?
I won't know.
Nope. And you have to live with that.
I do. I do have to live with that.
And I don't have a Twitter, and I couldn't be more proud to say that
After
than
this week?
than at this time in life after.
I mean, think about you could have theoretically spent $8 to make a company lose 30 billion. So
A
think about it
pharmaceutical
that
company
way.
used 30 billion. I get on that.
Yeah. So you could have done that last week, Taylor.
So close. But maybe I can crash crypto. Uh,
Yeah. Look at all
but
the benefits.
look at all the benefits. Anyway, in my pursuits to not use Twitter, I'll have to save that for next time. So once again, thanks everybody, and bye bye.
Bye.